Nowadays, more and more people will choose to study second language, like Mandarin and Japanese. They are very difficult to learn, and why it is so difficult for people.
Many people think that the Japanese is the most difficult language in the world, and I think it is in a way true. The Japanese language has three writing systems which make it very difficult for you to read, which is not always the case in other languages. The second thing that might be quite difficult and challenging for learners of the Japanese language is a very rich vocabulary. Also, what might be a very challenging thing is that in the Japanese language we often encounter words that belong to that cultural tradition and are very difficult to understand and to visualize in our languages.
Again, some students may have different expectations. When they start Chinese, they may think, well, this is an exciting language. They will have a small honeymoon stage. They really love the language and culture and everything, but it really takes a lot of motivation. You have to keep committed to doing it day in, day out, week after week. Basically, really, practice makes perfect. I think for most of the students, they feel like the writing system may be a big challenge for them. But we have many, many successful stories for students who start with us at initial level, no previous knowledge at all, and then they really, thrive and they speak very fluently in their final year. They can do translation, interpreting, they write beautifully in Chinese essays, so no problem. It's just some students who have done other European languages before, they have to know a little bit more about the background before.
So the characters part is probably the hardest part of Chinese because there's millions of characters and millions of radicals, and you have to practice every day and remember how to write them, and this is probably really hard. They also have a very different way of writing essays, so you have to learn the structure and you have to use the Chinese way of saying things, so really you have to get into the language.
This is Mavis Chen from Oberst.